Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Vipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 1st of January. India reacts sharply to Pakistan's fresh ceasefire violation. Jamaat's two-day shutdown fails to make an impact in Bangladesh. And Indians celebrate New Year with parties and prayers. And now for all the details. Indian forces are capable of replying to Pakistan against any provocation from across the border. Interior Minister Rajnath Singh has said this comes after Pakistani troops violated ceasefire and targeted Indian post late on Wednesday.
India on Thursday reacted strongly to the latest ceasefire violation by Pakistan along the international border. India's Interior Ministry said the country will retaliate if Pakistan continues to target its armed posts.
बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स और सेना के जवान मुस्तैदी से भारत की सीमाओं की रक्षा कर रहे हैं और मैं समझता हूं कि भारत की सीमाओं पर आंख उठाकर देखने की जरूरत कोई नहीं कर पाएगा और यदि कोई आंख उठाकर भारत की सीमाओं की ओर देखने की जरूरत करेगा तो मैं समझता हूं कि हमारी बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स अथवा हमारे सेना के जवान उसका मुंहतोड़ जवाब देने में पूरी तरह से कामयाब होंगे.
Pakistani paramilitary troops had opened fire at an Indian post in Samba on Wednesday, killing a paramilitary personnel and injuring a civilian. According to reports, some 13 Indian posts came under attack from the Pakistani side. The BSF, which retaliated with heavy gunfire, killed 4 Pakistan Rangers. Locals said the firing continued even in the night.
कल सुबह से ही फायरिंग हो रही है और रात को तो बहुत ज़बरदस्त हुई जिससे हमने सोचा कि नया साल मनाएंगे, खुशी आएगी, लेकिन रात को कोई 12:30 बजे के बाद एकदम जबरदस्त फायरिंग स्टार्ट हो गई.
Security experts believe Pakistani forces are opening fire at Indian troops as a cover to facilitate anti-India militants to infiltrate in Kashmir.
Pakistan is resorting to border firing so that it can put in more terrorists inside, and not only that, it has to keep the Kashmir issue, the conflict, the so-called conflict issue in this area alive, which is actually not a conflict.
According to reports, at least 150 militants are in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir waiting to cross into Indian soil. 2014 recorded one of the worst years of ceasefire violations since a truce was put in place in 2003. 14 civilians and 5 security personnel have been killed in 555 ceasefire violations by Pakistani forces this year in India's Jammu and Kashmir.
Afghans continue to fear a bleak future in the light of increasing Taliban-led violence in the country. At least 28 people were killed in a rocket fire fighting between Taliban insurgents and Afghan soldiers on Wednesday.
The rocket struck a house hosting a wedding in southern Helmand, Sangin district late on Wednesday. While most of the dead included women and children, more than 40 others were wounded. The Afghan security forces have been battling insurgents for past 6 months in the province ever since US forces withdrew from the area.
کوم وخت د ډاکټر صاحب عبد الله د فامیل خلک داسي یا د ډاکټر صاحب اشرف غنی د فامیل خلک داسي نو بیا دا درس غمالای سي کنه نور د سنگین د ولسوالۍ ټول خلک هم دای دلته راغلي دي دا څنګه دولت څنګه حکومت کوم وخت دې زموږ راغ اوري.
Wednesday marked the final day of the NATO's combat mission in Afghanistan. The last group of French troops held a ceremony in capital Kabul to mark its wrapping up in the war-torn nation. Hundreds of French soldiers who had been helping run the Kabul military airport handed over the responsibility to a Turkish unit which will operate under the new Train and Support NATO mission. The US and NATO also officially ended its combat plan on Sunday after staying in the country for more than 13 years. In the light of the foreign troops' withdrawal, security, however, has been stepped up across Afghanistan to ward off any suspected Taliban attack. Women here now fear of oppression and the country slipping back in the hands of Taliban leadership. Female parliamentarian Shukriya Barakzai, who survived a militant suicide bomb attack in November, said the Taliban who support Sharia or the Islamic law would curb the rights of women.
The extremist group don't want women. We don't like them as well. It's like same feeling we have for each other. Most of, let's say, religious people, because they want to lead the country, and it's been like almost nearby 3 decades. And they want to continue their business under the name of Islam. And for them, the biggest enemy is women. So they want to put us in a small box. But they should know our voice will breaking that boxes, and we will come out.
The Taliban regime was ousted by US-backed Afghan forces in 2001. The insurgents are making steady progress in capturing regions vacated by the NATO and have intensified attacks targeting foreign troops and civilians.
A Pakistani court on Thursday extended the police custody of militant leader Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi in a kidnapping case. The court order also comes on the same day Pakistan government approached the country's Supreme Court against the cancellation of his detention. Lakhvi, who was arrested in the kidnapping case earlier this week, had filed an appeal challenging his 2 days police custody. The dreaded terrorist was granted bail in the 2008 Mumbai terror attack case last month by an anti-terrorism court. But he was detained by the government under the Maintenance of Public Order Act after India registered its strong protest. Lakhvi got his detention revoked days later, only to be arrested again in the abduction case. The 2-day nationwide shutdown called by Jamaat Islami in Bangladesh against the capital punishment to its leader ended on Thursday. The ruling Awami League said people have rejected the blockade.
The 2-day shutdown of the Jamaat ended at 6 p.m. local time on Thursday. The blockade, however, had little effect as public life continued to remain normal on both the days. Though shops and educational institutions remained shut in some parts of capital Dhaka on Wednesday, most of the commercial establishments were open and vehicular traffic kept going. Hundreds of ruling Awami League supporters rallied in the capital against the Jamaat. They said the country has rejected the call made by the Islamic Party as it failed to gain any attention among the public.
আমি ঢাকাবাসীকে অভিনন্দন জানাই এই খালেদা জিয়া জামাত শিবিরের হরতালে আপনারা সাড়া না দিয়ে জননেত্রী শেখ হাসিনার অগ্রযাত্রা এগিয়ে নেওয়ার জন্য রাজপথে নেমে এসেছেন তার জন্য অভিনন্দন জানাই আর 2015 সাল হবে জামাত শিবিরের পতন এবং শেষ দিন এই কথা বলে সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আমি আমার কথা শেষ করলাম জয় বাংলা জয় বঙ্গবন্ধু
The Jamaat had announced a 2-day shutdown in the country after its leader Azharul Islam was sentenced to death by the International War Crimes Tribunal on Tuesday. He was found guilty of committing crimes against humanity during the 1971 Liberation War. Islam was the 16th person to be convicted by the ICT for atrocities committed during the Bangladesh Independence War. He is also the 11th member of the country's largest Islamist party, the Jamaat, to be sentenced to death.
At least 23 suspected militants were killed in an aerial attack in Pakistan's North Waziristan late on Wednesday. According to army reports, the attack targeting Tehreek-e-Taliban hideouts was carried out in Shawal, some 58 miles south of Miran Shah. Pakistan Army had stepped up its anti-Taliban operation across the tribal areas ever since the militia claimed responsibility for the Peshawar school attack. The army has claimed to have killed nearly 60 militants so far. However, according to the Taliban, the terror group has lost more than 150 of its men in the recent operations. The paramilitary troops of India and Bangladesh are working towards improving the existing cordial border relations between them. The neighbours also agreed to jointly combat cross-border infiltrations.
India's Border Security Force and border guards Bangladesh squared against each other for a friendly soccer tournament. The match held on the Indian side of boundary in northeastern Tripura's Belonia was aimed as a confidence-building measure. Hundreds of locals along with high-ranking officials from the two sides also attended the sport. The evenly fought game saw India's BSF winning with a margin of just a single goal. Both sides felt such events will help in further fostering the cooperation in the region.
The match which has been held today will definitely enhance the relationship between these two friendly forces in future, and the rate of this kind of activities will increase.
Top leadership of the two forces also met in Bangladeshi capital Dhaka this week to assess the security situation along the border. Issues including smuggling, infiltration and curbing trans-border crimes were discussed in depth during the meeting. New Delhi and Dhaka also agreed upon jointly combating terror, which is threatening both the countries. India and Bangladesh had recently agreed to swap land in order to settle a long-standing boundary issue. According to the proposal, enclaves in both sides will be exchanged to redraw the international boundary. The international boundary between the two nations stretches 2,545 miles.
As the clock struck 12, India got into a festive mood to welcome 2015. And while the celebrations are continuing, let's take a look at how the country brought in the new year.
Bidding adieu to 2014, Indians welcomed the new year with dance, parties and prayers. National capital New Delhi preferred to celebrate all through the night of Wednesday. The entire city of eastern Kolkata was also lit up with sparkling lights and packed with revelers for the good part of the late hours. Residents of central Bhopal also kept their date to bring in 2015. The biting cold and rains couldn't hamper the mood and many took to cruising.
डांस करने से एनर्जी आती है, एनर्जी में गर्मी आती है, सर्दी बिल्कुल नहीं है.
But none partied like Goa did. The resort coastal state, which saw a massive influx of domestic and foreign tourists, was full of life with music, dance, exotic food and drinks. In Ahmedabad, it was all about going traditional. The festivities, which began much before the turn of calendar, included traditional song and dances. School children also enjoyed the day amid balloons, flower decorations and painting their faces with the colours of 2015. In northern Varanasi, locals made the best out of the gifting season as card shops were flooded with customers who wanted to grab the best items. Florists also kept doing brisk business as many preferred buying flowers to mark the special day.
इस समय नए साल में बहुत अधिक फ्लावर की बिक्री हो जाती है, इसलिए कई तरह के हमें फ्लावर रखने पड़ते हैं. कलकत्ता से, लखनऊ से आदि की जगह से फ्लावर मंगा कर रखते हैं हम इस समय.
Residents of holy city Amritsar began the first day of 2015 by prayers at the famous Golden Temple. Revelers said visiting the holy place will grant them a prosperous year.
नवां साल ਅਸੀਂ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਸਾਲ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨ.
Devotees from all across the country also converged at the temple of Vaishno Devi in northern Jammu and Kashmir. Amid tight security, many said beginning the year amid prayers was important. Tourists kept pouring in to enjoy the winters amid snow at hill station of Shimla. The Himalayan region sees thousands coming here to usher in the new year. With the whole nation in a gleeful mood, Tinseltown celebs couldn't refrain from wishing their fans the best.
Hi, this is Ayushman Khurrana. Very happy new year to you.
Wishing everybody a very good new year, a happy new year.
Wishing all the viewers a very happy new year.
Very happy new year. God bless.
Wish you a very happy new year.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India reacts sharply to Pakistan's fresh ceasefire violation. Jamaat's two-day shutdown fails to make an impact in Bangladesh. And Indians celebrate New Year with parties and prayers. Now, viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.